Greetings, light dwellers. In your primitive tongue, I am called Fred. Pay no attention that I will be projecting images directly into your mind as I recount for you the exciting events of the Thelanis Fashion Show. Funding for this presentation is brought to you by the Corporation for Psionic Broadcasting, and from viewer support from adventurers like you. Thank you. You ignorant surface dwellers may be surprised to learn that I am a fashion connoisseur, and you may now refer to me as Fashion Fred. Things started getting off to a pretty early start in the Gardens of Respite when visitors started arriving to the show an hour before the show time, eagerly awaiting the spectacle. And it wasn't long before more began pouring into the fountain of the Gardens of Respite for the show. I had the opportunity to speak with the host of the show. Well, I started, 2 hours early, but I wasn't expecting anyone to show up an hour before the contestants even arrived. 16 contestants entered, but only 3 were selected: Unicorn, Vedran, and Paprika, based on their entry screenshots. Before the show, the audience lined up to have their names put in a hat for a door prize raffle. When we come back, I'm pleased to present to you the transcripts of the actual show, after this word from our sponsors. Did you ever know that you're my hero? 'Cause you are the wind beneath my strings. That performance was absolutely pathetic. Splashing contest! Whee! Come join us at the biggest party to hit Thelanis since the mass ball of '06. Pharaoh Velox invites you to get in your skivvies for games, dancing, and prizes as he celebrates his birthday by hosting the Thelanis Beach Party. Come on in, the water's fine. Welcome back, feeble minds. I'm now pleased to present for you the fashion show as it appeared to the audience in February. Ladies, gentlemen, nobles, and warforged, role-players, and puggers, welcome to the fashion show. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you of a few things. Please ensure that your general chat is in the on position. Photography and video of this event is strictly encouraged. The show will continue rain or shine, however, I'd like to point out that in case of a server emergency, the exits are located everywhere, and they should all lead you back to the DDO.com forums. We ask that all conversations be kept to /say, /party, /gu, or /tell during the event, as I'm a lazy typist who isn't inclined to try to yell over top of folks. I'd like to begin the evening by telling you how much we appreciate you putting aside your Saturday night routine to come out and witness this event. Give yourselves a hand for making it out here tonight. We would also like to welcome our visiting citizens who've traveled to us from far exotic lands, i.e. other servers. Thank you for taking the time to spend the eve with us and enjoy your stay. In a show of appreciation for your coming out for this event, I encourage any of you to enter in the door prize drawing now before the models get going on stage. Please now form a line by the bottom of the stairs and approach Showdrizen to have your name put in a hat for the drawing. Entry is free. While these items might not be uber per se, free loot is free loot. One of the first items to be raffled off will be the Robe of Acid. If you're not familiar with the Robe of Acid, this stunning green garment features Conjuration Focus, a 50% increase to damage of 4th level and lower acid spells, as well as the capacity to absorb 10 points of acid damage. I assure you I had it washed and pressed this morning, and it is in mint condition. We will draw names for the raffle after the best of show is announced, so meanwhile sit back and enjoy the spectacle. Allow me to introduce myself now that the festivities are well underway. I am Vero Valerius Velox, Ambassador to the Fellowship of the Golden Knight and Keeper of the Thelanis Mass Event Schedule. I have scoured Stormreach in search of the finest attired citizens our city has to offer. Only 3 such citizens were selected to appear before you. Believe me when I say that the decision process was a difficult one. Seriously, believe me, you folks are some fine-looking people. Tonight, I've put up 20,000 platinum of my own personal funds to be bestowed upon one of our 3 models who was deemed to be the best of show.
Can I get a few oohs and ahs for atmosphere? Yes, thank you. I'll be quite broke. Now, that decision will be based on the call of our celebrity judges. It is my great pleasure to introduce our panel of judges of renown from across the server. You know him as the keeper of the Thelanis Anthology thread on the DDO forums, a place to keep on top of the latest story content compiled and volunteered by the roleplayers of the server. You also know him as the guild leader of Project Mayhem. Be on the lookout for their event coming in March. Please give a big Thelanis cheer for Belve, aka Roby 3.0. Next, he's the reigning Battle of the Bards champion, a true lady man, ladies man. Check out his new best-selling sound crystal, Taste My Ham, featuring the smash hit, Eye of the Khyber. From the legendary Umber Hulk Guild, please give it up for Thelanis' answer to Justin Timberlake, Gabriazar, aka Sig Trent. Last, and most certainly not least by any means, you know the name, you know the guild, you know the style. Now see the man that is presently behind the resurrection of the resident Thelanis role-playing guild, the Crimson Nexus. He's here today to remind you that there can be more to the game than that treasure, though we do enjoy treasure. Please welcome to the show the guild leader of the Crimson Nexus, Turin! These judges will be observing our models and scoring them based on the way they strut, the way they look, the way they strike the pose. And remember folks, our judges are also watching the audience and factoring in the crowd pleaser aspect of the contestants. So if you like what you see, give it up for that contestant. Let those judges see and hear who you love. And now, without further delay, let us begin the competition.
Be sure, Lightwalkers, to tune in for the next installment of Tales from Thelanis. Here's a preview of what's yet to come. The models take to the stage and walk the runway for the competition. Tragedy strikes at the heart of one of the competitors. And how did this man end up in the show? See input from the contestants themselves in their own words. All this and more in the next segment of the Tales from Thelanis.